Folks, I got to get into the book of Revelation chapter 6 in order for me to kind of go over this story because it is somewhat prophetically relevant. Now, I have always said this, when we read about the things that are going to happen in the tribulation, they give us great insight into not only human nature, but it is a characterization of what happens when mankind is loosed by God to be able to do whatever they want without any constraining force. Now, what is the constraining force that exists in this world today? It is Christians that are filled with the Spirit of God. So as long as we are on this earth and we are not raptured, we act as the restraining force that keeps the will of man in its secular, humanistic form to do whatever they want. Now, when they are cut loose to be able to do what they want, we see a pattern of what actually happens. Revelation 6 is a great description. We know what's going to happen. We know that there is the release of a totalitarian ruler. His name is the final antichrist. That is the rider of the white horse. Then we've got the rider of the red horse, which then signifies war, right? War comes from totalitarianism. And then after that, we've got the rider of the black horse, and that is the effects on the economy with, of course, the preservation of a ruling class. That's what Revelation chapter 6 talks about, leaving the wine and the oil alone, right? We are talking about a ruling class that continues to benefit from the destruction of the economy that results from the totalitarian rule and the issue of war, right? This is something that's very interesting. And then, of course, what takes place after that is the rider of the pale horse, which is, in essence, massive and tremendous death. Now, we are seeing all of this manifest right now in the world in which we live. I'm not talking about Revelation 6, but I'm talking about a more nominalized version of it that is expressed with the preservation that comes from the preserving influence that we are as Christians. So we are seeing totalitarian regimes come into play. We're watching it all over Europe. We're seeing it here in the United States. Then we are watching warmongering taking place. Of course, we are seeing what Russia is doing to Ukraine, yet we do not oftentimes capture the fact that this is being egged on by the international community, by all of the globalists, and of course by the United States of America. They're all doing it, and the reality of it is a new form of warmongering using the military-industrial complex, fueled by the woke industrial complex and every other industrial complex that is destroying the world around us. So now here we go. We have a ruling class that is benefiting from the destruction of the economy, which of course came from the warmongering that took place, and then of course the totalitarian rulers, and now we are going to begin to see the death that is going to ensue, and it is getting ugly. Case in point, this is a little humorous, but it has happened. Germany, which is all about preserving everything, right? They are the green kings of the world, is now deciding that they are going to burn coal because they feel like they're getting forced to have to burn coal as a result of Russia dramatically reducing the country's supply of gas. Folks, that is a reality, and we are watching things begin to take place. Now, if you don't think that this headline has anything to do with what I just talked about, let me help frame it for you for the next 30 seconds. And that is this: we are watching the natural decline of what takes place when the pattern sets in. You've got totalitarian rule that is expressed in and through the warmongering that is taking place. When that begins to happen, the economies become affected. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. And eventually, what will happen, the result that will take place will be death. And I do think it is a little interesting that Germany is one amongst the first to decide to start burning coal, which they said they would never do. But that's kind of what happens. And we are watching a very small-scale version of this taking place. Folks, this is undoubtedly what is known as, and what we understand things to be, as the spirit of Antichrist. It is ruling and reigning in the hearts and in the minds of so many people, and it always goes back to the secular humanistic thought and influence that drives people to want to do things with their own power and their own resources, denying the true and living God. So we are watching Germany act on a snap decision based on what Russia is doing, and things are going to start declining more and more. Just wait and see. Here's the deal. Jesus is coming soon. Open your eyes, folks. It's happening. God bless you.